Hi everyone! First of all, I hope that everyone enjoyed WALL-E this week. This movie is going to be our representative of Pixar films. There are a lot of different ones that I went back and forth between. I landed on WALL-E for a couple of main reasons, and I hope that throughout the course of this video, those reasons become pretty clear. So I want to talk about two things with WALL-E that actually can, in some ways, set the stage for us for many of the other films that we'll be looking at. The first thing I want to talk about is an idea that Andrew Stanton actually brought up in his TED Talk that I gave you for this week. One of the things that Andrew Stanton talks about, and Andrew Stanton again wrote WALL-E as well as Toy Story, Bugs Life, and several other Disney films. Andrew Stanton points out that one of the things he learned from making movies is that viewers want to, and I'll put this in quotes, work for their meal. Now, I want to pause over that because this is actually a narrative theory that Andrew Stanton uses for many of his Pixar films, and which we can find in a lot of the films that we are going to be talking about, and in films overall. So, for this week, I will ask everyone in the discussion board to try to make heads and tails of that quote from Andrew Stanton and how it works. But here is the basic idea. Andrew Stanton believes that one of the best things that you can do when you are creating a movie is to put the viewers in a position where they have to guess, where they have to put information into the movie. Viewers often do not like to be spoon-fed. They don't want to know everything that's going on. This is sort of how suspense works, right? With suspense or anything that has us guessing about what's going to happen next or what is going on in a scene. These are examples of making viewers work for their meal. So Andrew Stanton's TED Talk gives us an idea that we can use for many, many movies. And there are particular instances in WALL-E when Andrew Stanton, as a filmmaker, decides to not let us know exactly what's going on. Those early parts of the film, when we're seeing all these interactions between Eve and WALL-E, are based off of giving us just a tiny bit of information, right? It's not like they open the film letting us know exactly what is going on. We have to try to figure it out using clues, and much of the movie works this way. One of the reasons that the movie works this way is because there's very little talking. The first half of the film, half and even more of the film, have virtually no conversation. It is all or mostly visual. Now we have WALL-E, who doesn't talk. We have Eve, who talks but only a tiny bit, right? And yet still we're able to invest ourselves in their narrative and in their relationship. So Andrew Stanton and the creators of WALL-E more generally withhold, they get rid of any sort of dialogue, but they let us figure things out. They let us use the clues to input our own information. So this movie is a great example of viewers working for their meal. All right, and you can use the discussion boards to work through that quote and how it relates to the movie in a little bit more detail. The other thing I want to talk about with WALL-E, and again, if you have any thoughts on this, you can use the discussion boards and the quizzes as a way to get those thoughts across. So the other thing I want to talk about is the switch partway in the movie. All right, so a good portion of the movie is based off of describing or portraying WALL-E and Eve and their relationship with each other, right? On Earth, then on a spaceship, and then moving forward. It changes location as you go along. However, partway through the movie, WALL-E switches from a robot-centered narrative about machines that really don't talk to humans. And these humans, as you probably noticed, are not the most flattering representation of humanity. We are moving around. We are obsessed with our cell phones and our screens. We are tied to wheelchairs to the extent that humans may have, to a certain degree, lost the ability to walk. I want everyone to think about the possibility that WALL-E actually has a social critique built into it. All right, so WALL-E, yes, it gives us a lovable robot, but it also has something very serious, potentially, if you believe my argument, something very serious to say about what we are doing with our cell phones and technology. So I really want you to think, and feel free to rewatch it if you want to. I really want you to think about what the social critique of humans is, and why this movie is 90% about robots and 10% about humans. There are some possibilities here. I will throw them out to you. It is absolutely possible that one of the main social critiques behind WALL-E is that humans are becoming machines. All right, that the boundary between human and machine are becoming blurred. Right, we are at a point now, and we were then, when customer service representatives are being replaced by robots. When you go into, if you click on a customer service chat, you might not be able to tell if it's a human or a robot. Right? If you call a particular service, it might take you a few minutes now to figure out whether you're talking to a human being or a robot pretending to be a human being. It is absolutely possible that WALL-E had these ideas as some of its central concerns. The other possibility is that humans are getting to the point where we no longer interact with each other, or at least not directly. Right? We're getting to the point where our bodies actually don't count. They don't matter. Right? Because we're spending most of the time on our screen. So rather than engaging with each other physically or talking to each other, everything is mediated. Right? It's mediated through our cell phones, through our other devices. So that if I wanted to talk to someone, instead of talking to them directly and in person, I can have a conversation through something else. And now we're to the point where I might, even if that person is in the room with me, I might text them or chat with them instead of talking to them. All right, so these are two possibilities for what WALL-E is actually bringing out as a form of social critique. All right, great. I hope you enjoyed the movie. If there's anything else that you guys want to bring out, feel free to obviously message me, but you can also just air it out in the discussion boards or in the quizzes.